Over the last 2 weeks, we took a deep dive into why heart rate training is important and how we use the MYZONE heart rate monitor to help our members crush their goals. Now that you understand the basics, let's get into how we can leverage the developmental sequence to help you land in your effort sweet spot. Quick review for anyone that missed the first 2 episodes of Whiteboard Wednesday. The MYZONE is our heart rate monitor of choice at Results Driven. MEPS are MYZONE effort points. You earn a certain amount of points per minute spent in each zone, and this helps you find the amount of effort that is appropriate for you to reach your goals in a safe, sustainable manner. So what is the developmental sequence? How is it related to heart rate training? And why should any of this matter to you? Woo! Sorry, I'm a little jazzed up. What is the developmental sequence? We're all babies. Who you calling a baby? That's not a weird grade school insult. We all regain movement ability the same way babies do for the first time. To keep this as brief as possible, I'm going to simplify it a bit. Babies first gain stability from breath and limb and head movement. Eventually they roll, spend time on their bellies, end up on all fours and crawl. Then they pull themselves up to a kneeling and standing position. Once they're upright, they eventually walk after a few or many failed attempts. So for the sake of this conversation, we'll simplify and just talk about the 4 main positions of the developmental sequence: ground-based, quadruped, kneeling, and standing. From a movement restoration standpoint, our goal is to land on the movement pattern that is your priority to improve. Deeper assessment lets us know if we need to improve mobility at a joint and/or motor control of the joints involved in the pattern. Once mobility is improved, or if it was never an issue, we focus on improving your ability to control the joints involved in the movement pattern. In order for this to work, we have to pick the right position in the developmental sequence. This is as simple as testing and retesting movement to decide which position is at the edge of your ability and will actually help improve movement in a way that will lead to long-term progress. Let's put this into a quick practical example. If you're trying to touch your toes and you already improved the mobility of your hips, then we need to help you relearn how to control your hips. If standing or kneeling exercises are too challenging or don't improve your ability to touch your toes, then you may be better off with a quadruped movement like the ultimate sandbag quad diagonal pull through or a ground-based movement like the dead bug. Once you can control a position, then you move up to the next level of the developmental sequence, rinse and repeat. Wait, I thought we were talking about heart rate training. Even though we talk a lot about ground-based movement, our goal is to get our members to perform upright, functional strength movements. Just because it's our goal doesn't mean we start everyone there. In general, the higher up the developmental sequence you climb, the more likely you are to elevate your heart rate and get the training effect you're looking for. A kettlebell deadlift will generally give you more of a heart rate effect than a bridge. Both are hinge movements, but the deadlift is typically more demanding. Unfortunately, or fortunately if you're a movement dork, it's not as simple as standing up for all exercises to make your workout as effective as possible. If you're performing a movement that is related to your priority movement pattern, you may get the desired heart rate response on the ground, in quadruped, or in a kneeling position. Movement patterns that are foreign to the nervous system will be more challenging, elevate the heart rate, and give you a training effect that may actually be surprising. Hey son, it sounds smart, but I don't know what the hell you're saying. If you can't touch your toes, a bridge or half kneeling exercise may be way more challenging for you than it will be for someone who can touch their toes. If your hips haven't moved the way they were meant to in a while, it's understandable how movements that challenge control at the hips could be more difficult. If our goal is to help you do enough work to get results without going overboard, then we have to make sure you're doing the right balance of movements between the positions of the developmental sequence. So let's build some action steps that will help improve your training program. If you're an RD member or have access to a MYZONE heart rate monitor and a functional movement screen certified coach, start by finding out what your priority movement pattern is. The screen can help you determine if you need to focus on mobility and motor control in specific patterns. If you're someone that can't touch their toes, avoid deadlifting and find out which regression will help you improve movement and get the heart rate effect you're looking for. If you don't have access to these tools, we recommend adding in movements in a variety of different positions and paying attention to how you respond. If your heart rate elevates during dead bugs, quad diagonal pull-throughs, or half kneeling press outs, that may be a sign that you could benefit from adding these movements into your routine. Need to simplify even further? Make sure to perform a ground-based movement and quadruped core move in each workout, and find ways to add kneeling movements into your routine. Simply performing cable or resistance band rows in a half kneeling position instead of a seated position can drastically change your training program. One last takeaway that can help you manage your heart rate is to take note of the movements that don't elevate your heart rate. If you notice that bridges or quadruped rocking don't challenge you, they may be good moves to use as active recovery between your more challenging movements like squats or inverted rows. Sitting around during a workout waiting to recover can be boring. Using restorative movements to help bring your heart rate down can help make your workout more dense while improving movement and optimizing recovery. Yeah, we did it. We made it through another Whiteboard Wednesday. Check back next Wednesday as we cover factors that affect heart rate and how you can change your workouts based on how your heart rate is responding on any given day. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch our content. We really appreciate your attention and support. I think I just bowed. The deeper you bowed, the more respect it shows, right? Hey, Sonny, I don't know what the hell you're saying. Thank you. Weird question hand face thing? Who you calling a baby? I can't even read the label. Yep. All this sounds fancy, Sonny, but I don't know what you're saying. Weird ass pacing of words. Would you say, who you calling a baby? I don't understand how this oxygen stuff works. That's a lot of words. Just because you can't read. Ability of your hips. Hips. Get your hips here. What's she saying? Hey, Sonny, what are you saying? Improve your or don't improve your obituary.